Hey guys, I hope we're all doing good. I've just dropped something, but don't worry about that. There may be some interaction, so I'm going to kind of try and set it up from the start, and then if we can do it, we will. But if we don't, we're not going to worry about it too much, because I've always got plenty to say either way. So what I'd like you to do is I'll try and do bits of this as I go through, and then I'll see if I can build it. And if I do it at the end, you'll see why. And if I don't, you'll forever wonder what was he going to do, or you'll forget today. So the first thing I want is somebody to give a topic that I could rap about. So while I do the poem or the poems, can somebody come up with a topic that I can rap about and put it in the comments? Cool. So I'm going to do a selection of poems for you guys all around a theme that is coming through from my book. So my book, Please Do Not Touch. I started writing because I was going to like National Trust properties, museums, all those kind of places. And you see stuff that's been taken from all around the world, and then it gets stamped, please do not touch. And now all of this stuff that should never have been touched in the first place, I'm being told not to touch it. And I think there's like an irony and hypocrisy in that. And so I started writing poems around that, and then around the effects of that. This first poem is called When Your Brother Died. And to give it a little bit of context, there were two brothers, the Anson brothers, who lived at Shugborough Estate in the Midlands. And one of them, well, I call him a pirate. He was like I don't know, a navy captain or something, and he sailed around the world robbing people's stuff. But anyway, they call him a captain. I call him a pirate. And when he died, his brother spent all his money that he had stole on his brother's grand plan for their estate. And this poem is called When Your Brother Died. When your brother died, you spent his fortune on your vision, built your grand estate on the back of his stolen wealth like it was yours, like it was his. He'd have loved it. Grecian taste, oriental magnificence, how to dress opportunistic betrayal so that it may sashay. How graceful can greed be? Who taught you to take so well? Which marauder unlocked your potential to unlock, relock, annex, asseverate, own? Did he know? Had he seen boomerangs before? When he threw you, could he foresee your return as a vulture, his future as carrion? How proud he would be. Cool. Yeah, so we've got Inf Diggy, who I happen to know is a legend, has put the topic as growing up in Birmingham. Cool. So, first poem done, and the topic we're looking at is growing up in Birmingham. So I'm going to make a note of that in my little book. And then, so the next thing I'm going to do when I do my next poem is, can anyone give me key words that they relate to growing up in Birmingham? So just one word that relates to growing up in Birmingham. Or more than one word, but like not phrases. So different words. Growing in Brom. Cool. All right, so you've got your next homework assignment. I'm going to jump onto the next poem. So this poem's called Overcompensating. And if you've ever been in the National Trust house, everything's unnecessarily big. And we all know why that is, but it's cool. This is called Overcompensating. How big do your fireplaces have to be when you don't even burn the evidence? When the proceeds of crime hang in frames kept far from the flames that laugh here? Can these gates to hell melt your ice caps? How massive do your mirrors need to be, hanging next to full-size portraits of you? Selfies before self is served, the self-served and self-obsessed. Silver glimmer reflecting frozen shimmer and doppy eyes. How much space must your garden take? Green flowing over horizon's edge. Does your conscience sit outside these walls? Is it easier to burn the world knowing the smoke will dissipate before it arrives? How terrifyingly large would your grave be if you were to be buried with everybody whose life was destroyed in your name? Would you make those who dug the hole excavate space for their own impending fate? Cool. So, courage is one of my key words. Thank you, Kate. I've got courage. Courage is going to kill me later, but we're going to deal with it. Okay, so I've got courage as a keyword. So now I've got 2 tasks. And Inf and Kate, you can chip back in on these, because if other people don't, then I'm gonna need you, man. So as well as courage, I need some more keywords. Underdog. Thank you, Oliver. I need more keywords, but I also need words that rhyme with courage or rhyme with underdog. So boom, if you can work that out, if you can make sense of it in your head, you do that, and I'm going to give you guys another poem. So this next poem is called Library. And if you've ever been in a National Trust house, one of the key features is the library. The libraries are flipping stunning, and it does my head in, because I like to read books, and the books are all kept for the rich people. And this poem was written about the fact that they use knowledge really to hold power. And all of the lines in the poem are taken from statements that were written around the libraries in different National Trust houses. And it goes like this. This room is book lovers. This room is a testament. This room is 2 generations. This room is additional shelf space. This room where children read politics by the fireplace. These politics that placed children by fires. This room coated now in dust or ash. We discover how weeds became flowers, how light became controlled. This room is a doorway. This room is a boundary. This room is a foundation. This room knows no ceiling. Cool. Okay, so Mosley Bog. Yes, Mosley Bog, Snog, Clog. You guys are cooking on gas. Mosley Bog. Snog and Slug. Snog and Clog. I don't need any more rhymes for underdog. I do need rhymes for courage, and the reason I don't have any rhymes for courage is because it's hard to rhyme. And I need 2 more keywords as well. So you guys keep working. You guys are going to work harder than me. That's my plan. It's always my plan. Cool. So my next poem is called Landscape, and there's a gardener called Capability Brown, who you may or may not have heard of. You know, I don't know if you're up on your gardeners. But Capability Brown was a gardener back in the day, and he did all of the huge, like, stately home gardens. And years after he died, there was some research done into the way in which his work was funded. So he might not have any direct connection to this, but some of the people who hired him and paid him were connected to slavery. And so I did a project on that, and this poem was written as part of that. The peacocks are strutting in a way that would resemble the strut of those who once inhabited this towering building. Shades of blue that make the sky jealous. Greens glimmer brighter than grass here, and the grass on the other side. Grandeur bursting from tails like water from the fountain. Peacocks treading where vultures did. Meat picked from the bones of the commonwealth, prosperity gained at the expense of making wealth uncommon wherever the flag stood. Where the unpaid work of those who were capable and brown paid for the work of capability brown. And while those used up broken brown bodies are not buried beneath the Blenheim Palace fountains or Warwick Castle gardens, do not fall for the fallacy that those beauties are not built on the back of blacks. They want me to move on. Let's not talk about what I stole from you. Let's ignore the fact that I raped your lands and destroyed your culture. There's a difference between living in the past and living in a present so broken by the past that we are destined for a future that will never be equal. I love the gardens at Warwick Castle. I just know that they have more than sunshine laying on them. I know that their roots extend beyond the soil beneath. Cool. Somebody came in. So we got some people trying to give me rhymes for courage, but also Kate being like, back out, don't do it. So I'm gonna stick with courage because Inf Diggy's gone for flourish in courage, and Sarash has gone for discourage. So we're gonna make that work. I need some more words related to growing up in Birmingham. So I need 2 new words. Flourish, encourage, and discouraged. Don't mind me making notes. We're just keeping it moving. So one of the things that I wanted to write about in this collection was the hypocrisy of basically these people saying, please do not touch all the stuff that they touched. And one of the things that I got caught up in when I was going to these places is my own hypocrisy, because I was enjoying myself and I was enjoying being able to take my son to places that I would never have went to as a kid. So this poem kind of just touches on joy and happiness based on a little thing that happened at one of these places. It's called Soup. Today, you ate tomato soup like it was the first meal you had eaten in days. You had half a cheese sandwich for lunch at 1:30. There is soup on the table and bread in your hair. You look like Mowgli from the Jungle Book, if Mowgli had eaten soup. And you smile as the yogurt is placed in front of you. You look at yogurt how I looked at your mother the day I met her. How I looked at your mother at 4 o'clock this morning as she sighed in her sleep, dreaming of you and your ways. You look at yogurt how I looked at your mother when I found her in the art room painting at college. Her paintbrush darting like sparrows on autumn mornings, leaving crimsons and caramels in their wake. I knew then that she would spend her whole life both being and making beauty. She feeds you yogurt. I take the wipes out. There is soup all over the floor. Cool. Okay, so some more rhyming words. I've got the market and survival. I'm taking both of those. Those are my words. The market. I'm just going to put market and survival. And so I rapidly, while I deliver the next poem, need words that either rhyme with market or survival. Feel free to post multiple if you think it can help, because otherwise I'm going to run out. And I need you. I need you guys. I need you working harder than me. My next poem is about Birmingham, and it's called Dear Birmingham, and it's off the topic of the other ones. Dear Birmingham, that doesn't even sound right. Yo, Brum, that's the kind of thing that I would write. That's not because you're not dear to me or always here for me, but I have heard your bark more than once. I felt your bite, so how you keeping? Still having trouble with your sleeping? When I think of you, I think about the long extended evenings, nights that turn to mornings. Good brothers snatched from young mothers. I think about the nights that we spent mourning. Think of Charlene Ellis, Letitia Shakespeare, their family pain at the shame knowing that they ain't here. It's crazy how quick a mum or dad can lose their baby. Brum, I love you. But at times I truly feel like you've betrayed me. Brum, I love you. And I know I seem focused on your flaws, but I have seen so many die claiming postcodes that are yours. I've no intention to draw attention to funerals I've attended just to mention your malfunction, so one day they may be mended. Sometimes I think you're so sweet. But do you do that to distract me? Man, I never thought that Cadbury would turn out to be so crafty. Surely we could have fought for whole nuts. Brum, ain't we tough enough? Instead, we showed no nuts and decided we should button up. And I don't want to sound like a complainer or rant like a moaner. And I realise it's been a long time since Rover, but the drama and the rubble since they built the last bubble means this will be a long bridge for those people to get over. Brum, I love you. And I know this isn't clear from my statements, but as a man, you didn't live up to my boyhood expectation. Still, if they told me to let go, I'd have to tell them no, no, no. Like Amy offered rehabilitation, the home of my relations, birthplace of my dreams, fueling my motivation, stronger than kerosene. They call it the second city. But whenever I spend a second at the city, I know there's nowhere better I could be. Proud Birmingham son, married one of its daughters, met her in Kings Norton, bought the ring in jewelry quarter. Now I use her like an anchor. My connection to Brum, like the anchor hallmarks that we're pressing Brum. Home of the innovators, focused on solutions like Matthew Bolton leading industrial revolutions. It's easy to have a vision. Anybody can dream. It's different to reach goals, burn coal, make steam. You ain't seen Brum. If you ain't seen the tower blocks and try to define where the clouds start and the towers stop, you ain't heard Brum unless you've heard the local rave music and seen the wild Brummies who were slaves to it. Arcadian, lit up like an arcade tree where the shots are on offer, high heels on feet, 20-somethings and late teens heading to Broad Street. Before you know it, you'll be 40 sipping red wine in King's Heath. Brum's are home to the canals where I write poetry and think the water's still. Only thing flowing is the ink. I think of horses pulling boats. I know that Brum's engraved up on my soul like the walls holding scars of old ropes and never kill my love of Brum. So if my passion is their target, Tell them, bring a ring of balls. Bet you still they couldn't mark it. Like the shadow of the council house mountain or the fountain laying under Brum, I promise. I will stay around like the rotunda. I don't need 10 letters. You know that ain't me. You know I spell Birmingham, Home. So wherever I may be, I will carry your thoughts with me. Forever yours. Mister, I'm in love with my city. Brum. Cool. So I'm going to try and take some of these words now. I got market, carpet, and I'm going to wrap this up. Market, carpet. I'm going to put target. That wasn't in there, but I need a couple more. Market, carpet, target, start it. I'm going to say start it. And then I've got survival, rival, idol, viral. Okay, cool. So using the words that you've given me, I'm going to close out my part of the show. It goes like this. Growing up in Brum, you've got to have courage if you want to do well, if you want to flourish. Look after people, always encourage. Stay away from people who like to discourage in Brum, because you can be the underdog. You can find yourself sitting at the Mosley blog talking to a girl, wishing she would have a snog. In the end, you get kicked in the shin with clogs in Brum. You always find me at the market, always wrapped up, real warm like carpet. I don't understand why I can't hit my target, but I keep going every day. I just start it again. Because it's all about survival. It is never about bettering your rival. It's about achieving more than your idol. It's about being like COVID and going viral in Brum. So cool. Thank you for giving me the words. Peace and love. It's been a pleasure to be here and be with you guys. Thank you for having me. I'm out. Much love.